When I wake up in my makeup, yeah, I kind of forgot. I gotta say, not for nothing. My guy Phil, look at this, people. This is bedhead right here. That doesn't look too bad. Well, now I made it look goofy. Sometimes my hair looks worse after I do it than when I just wake up. Okay, come on. There we go. Gotta open up that make the font larger so my Gen X eyes can see it. Count the rings around my Gen X eyes. Anybody? Anybody, anybody, everybody, somebody. Good morning. Good morning. Now, here's a funny thing. I've been kind of riffing this week about how when I show up on my TikTok lives, which I do pretty much every day, morning, Laura Gibbon Voorhees, nice to see you. And Tracy and Teresa and Joe and Becky and Liz. And this is obviously the romper room portion of the show. Mary, nice to see you. And Daisy May. Good morning, all. I hope you have your morning beverage of choice. If not, I suggest water. Lighthearted, good morning. So, Tracy, everybody, okay, everybody, people are tuning in, filing in, whatever. I pretty much wear the same thing most every day, except for like if I'm traveling or, like leaving the house. But if it's just up to me, I'm wearing a black t-shirt and in a hoodie. It makes getting dressed really easy and very few decisions. The fewer decisions I have the less decision-making energy I need to spend on things as mundane as what cloth is going to cover my naked body and keep it warm or keep it at the right temperature I want to be, the more brain energy I have for other things. Now, I say this because this morning, it's a little bit brisk. It's crazy. The sun didn't get up until like 7:15 or so. The sun was like sleeping in. I saw the moon this morning. It was gorgeous. And when I got up, I decided to put on my robe, my leopard skin robe. Now, usually this would be like, oh, well, maybe I should wait till the weekend to put my robe on and I'll just put on a hoodie instead. But then I realized I'm not doing a TikTok live tomorrow morning. I will tell you that much. Nope, I'm not. I checked my schedule. That's because I'm doing a client-only decluttering party. So I thought, well, you know what? I have a very light schedule today, so I'm considering this a long weekend for myself. I'm taking Friday off. Yeah, lighthearted, chilly in Connecticut, huh? I can only imagine. Now, I'm in Pennsylvania, so I'm a wee bit more south than you. But yes, it is chilly. Right now, this is cool, actually. It's warm, actually. I can hear the furnace kicked on, and we actually didn't wait until November 1st to turn on the heat. Okay, now Coffee and Chaos is saying it's 40 degrees in North Carolina. I bet that is wicked chilly for you guys. I think it was like 30-something when I got up. Ocean Nana, good morning. Nice to see you. Hope to see you tomorrow on Saturday and then also on Monday. Boom, boom. Awesome. Damn it, Donna. Nice to see you as well. So, hey, all. It's Friday. I hope you had a good week. I did. It was busy. I got a lot of stuff done. Good stuff done. Yeah. Alrighty, Danielle, nice. Got a birthday spa day today. But this is a good way to start your day and a food way to start your day. Yeah, exactly. I was going to say good and food, they're pretty much interchangeable. So rock on. A spa day. You guys, I have to tell you, I'm looking into my future, into the crystal. I would say the crystal ball. I'm looking down the road as I drive towards the life I want. And Danielle, you and me both, spa days. I went to a hot springs spa in Santa Fe, New Mexico last week, the week before with a couple of girlfriends. OMFG. That is the wave of my future. So I love it. Who doesn't love a spa day? Even if you're taking a bath in your own bathtub and you put some bubbles in it, you turn out, you know what I mean? And then you moisturize yourself real nice and you put on a robe and you just walk around. Treat yourself. Very cool. Now, Donna Dalla, not to be confused with Damn It Donna, maybe you guys should meet. We're in the 70s in South Florida. Now, the 70s to me, now this is talk about perspective. The 70s, we aspire today. I think our high is going to be about 70 degrees here in Pennsylvania. So there's that. So what do we got going on today, you guys? I mean, I can talk about me as much as you want. I can tell stories, whatever, but I get bored with myself. because I live with myself all the time. I know my stories. I'm happy to share stuff, but I'm really here for you. I am. I don't do this just to show off, hey, everybody, look at how great my life is, blah, blah, blah. No, I could. That gets boring real fast. No, I am here because, why? I used to be unhappy with parts of my life. I used to be cluttered. I am now so much more happy with so many more parts of my life than ever before in my entire existence on the planet. Part of that, much of that has to do with coaching and decluttering and getting to know me, okay? I love how I feel so much and how much my life and my space has changed and all sorts of things that I want to share what I learned with you. It's kind of like a recipe, you know, oh my gosh, I just made this recipe. This stuff is delicious. Would you like the recipe? Because I'm happy to share it with you. Okay? No, Heidi D is working from home today in about a half hour, but I'll be here listening. Okay, cool. Cool thing. Yeah, so it's 8:06 a.m. where I am, and if we haven't met before, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching here on TikTok and on the website, destinationdecluttered.com. Destination Decluttered. Okay? Hey, there we go. Okay, you know what, Oceanana? New wood stove and chimney liner being installed today, so major moving clutter. Yep, so they can work. So here's a great thing, Oceanana, and for everybody. So sometimes your clutter grows roots. It just gets there and you're kind of stuck. It feels like it's stuck there. One of the best ways to be encouraged, I don't want to say force. I like to use I'm really mindful about my words. I'm demure. I'm mindful about my words. And even that is totally probably, oh, that's so 2 weeks ago. Disrupting your clutter helps you remember that it's movable, that it doesn't need to stick there, you know? So I think it's a good thing that you are disrupting the clutter. You're moving it around. Also, I mean, if it's cold here in PA, in New Hampshire, I bet it's wicked cold. So the fact that you're going to have a new wood stove and chimney liner, you'll be able to be warm and safely warm, not like you're going to have a chimney fire. Okay? Now, Cat Mama, this is interesting. I hope people chime in because I'm not having any problem with my TikTok. I know you mentioned this yesterday, so perhaps it is your I don't know. I'm not the IT department here, but hopefully it's just your thing and not a grander thing. I'm trying to move I have a heated little, what do you call this thing, coaster for my stuff. All right, Laura Gibbons has to do a fast declutter and tidy and clean. Oh, there we go. It must be chimney cleaning season. Laura and Louise, I have to do a fast declutter, tidy, clean in the family room. Chimney cleaner guy coming around noon. Yeah, talk about when somebody's coming over and they're coming in your house. You want to make it look good for them because you want to feel good about how your house looks through outside eyes. What I think is cool is noticing that. We all do it. I do it myself. However, I want your house to look good to you through your eyes as opposed to just when somebody else is coming over. Okay? Yeah, whatever I say, Coffee and Chaos, write down whatever I say because I am pretty much a stream of consciousness. Somebody will say, what was that you just said? And I'll kind of have to back up, and even if I try to say it the same way, I remember I ran into trouble with this. Not trouble. It was interesting when I used to do videos. So I used to do videos for this other project I had called Retro Roadmap. And I did a Kickstarter, and we made a bunch of videos about cool and vintage places. And my friend who was filming me at the time would do like a 3-camera thing. Like he'd film me from straight on, interviewing somebody, and then from the side and the side. Invariably, I couldn't even remember. He's like, now say what you did. You know, and it wasn't a script. This is not a script. This is live. This is not Memorex, okay? So if I say something that resonates with you, please, everybody, I've got a pen in my hand. You think that you're going to remember things. You're not. Your brain has so much work to do. It's like, I'm too busy. Here, write it down so you don't forget, okay? Yay, Monk. Glad to see you this morning, too. So, oh wow, now this is interesting. German Maid says, I have a protected bird species, chimney swifts. Isn't that cute? I mean, imagining little birds with little top hats and little things like Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins, you know? All right, so There we go. Yes. Oh my God. There's some hive minding going on. Okay. Laura just said, and I didn't even read it. I know I will feel better about the room once I've done today's Mary Poppins work. Oh my God, you guys, we're all in the same wavelength, huh? Now, speaking of wavelength, Susan is saying, I don't have energy to get through the clutter. I just want to throw it all away. Susan, I hear you. I feel you, right? Ophelia. Notice that decluttering does take energy. It takes a certain amount of physical energy, and it takes a certain amount of mental energy. Mental energy even before the physical. What I recommend to you, and everybody here, I'm looking at y'all, take care of yourself first. Now, what is yourself? It's everything from your skin within, okay? And maybe on the other side of your skin as well, because you want to moisturize, like if your hands are dry or something. If you don't have energy, get some energy. Take care of yourself. What do you need? What do you need to that's going to give you energy so that you go through the clutter the way you want to? Now, I said this yesterday, and I'm sincere about this. I try very hard not to declutter shame. If you decide to get a dumpster and pitch everything in your house into it, I will practice non-judgment. However, I know from professional and personal experience that if that is the way you decide to declutter, sometimes if you haven't learned how to organically declutter, you may reclutter again. So I offer to you an alternative to that, which is to think about what you're doing, to learn about it, to also don't put things in the trash that somebody else might be able to use. And I say this because my house is decorated and furnished with many things that I trash picked, that I bought used, that I inherited. That is very few things. Very few things are new in my house. Very few things. And the things that are new in my house, I bought, like I got IKEA, it's very utilitarian. But that's me. So if you think to yourself, I don't have the energy to even do this, take care of yourself and get some energy, because when you feel better, write this one down. This is a good one. This is one I remember. When I feel better, I do better. Okay? And we right here at Destination Decluttered TikTok Lives are all about feeling better. Not feeling perfect. No. Perfection, we leave that at the side. Feeling better. I love this. RN Gen 95 says, City bulk pickup on Monday. Have been waiting. Want a usable space in the garage, and I'm seeking calm, not chaos. Now, you know me. Destination Decluttered. Head, heart, hands. Surface stored sentimental. I am all in on a good alliteration. So calm, not chaos. Notice there's an opposite there. I'm feeling chaotic, but I'd rather feel calm. On the other hand, currently in this hand, I'm feeling kind of chaotic, but on the other hand, I'm going to feel calm. And the other hand is the left hand because I'm left-handed. Okay? Awesome. Awesome. Take advantage of the opportunities you have to declutter. RN Jen is taking advantage of the City Bulk pickup. Take advantage of donating stuff. Like this weekend, for example, you might have time to take the things that are useful to somebody else but not you and drive them to a donation location. A donation location. I like a rhyme too. Whether it's a thrift store or like if somebody's having a yard sale, or literally just putting a free sign on your stoop and say, come and get it, come and get it, come and get it. Yeah, Sia says, yes, the mental energy for me, I have to plan for it. Yeah, you wouldn't start a road trip with a half empty, with a quarter tank of gas in your car. Why would you start decluttering if you don't have the energy to do it? Now, do you need an absolute full tank of gas to go somewhere? No. But when you're starting to get low, it's going to be more difficult because you'll be running out of energy sooner rather than later. Okay? All right. I'm going to back it up. Back it up. Here we go. Okay, back it up. I'll take it. Okay. Yep. I love it. Monk says, I conquered the evil Tupperware cabinet yesterday. Now, isn't it interesting the words we use? And sometimes we use them for comedic effect. But conquered, I have to wrestle with. What's that other one people use? I need to purge and tackle. Tackle is a big one. Notice you've got to tackle your clutter as if you're like some sort of, what's that sport, football guy, right? Tackling. I'm going to tackle my clutter. And I conquered the evil Tupperware and I remained victorious. Yeah, I got to go through my trademarked, untrademarked Tupperware cupboard soon, but everything still fits in it and it's good enough. I'm all about good enough. If it bugs me, I do something about it, but I'm not going to over improve. I'm going to be like, can I find my stuff easily? Can I find the lid? Is it not falling out? Is it not like McGee's Closet every time I open the door? Now, it's a little bit messy. And the last time, seriously, I did a TikTok video. This is going to be great because the last time I actually went through and consciously decluttered my Tupperware cupboard, I did a TikTok video about it. When I scroll back on the TikTok videos that I've posted here before, and if you don't know that, I have a ton of videos on my page, so if you want to watch them, follow my page, yada yada. It will be interesting for me to see the last time I did that. I think it was easily 6 months to a year ago. So the fact that I have that, the way I had it set up with the quality and quantity and the way it was set up lasted me for like a year, I think that's pretty darn good. I also know for stone cold fact that there are some things now that I saved at that time that I don't think I've used since then. I've got like a footed cake stand that matches the glassware, the Manhattan glassware that I have, that I thought, oh, maybe I'll put some candles on that and stuff. I haven't used that. I might consider doing a cull. Now notice, culling, combing through, pulling out the stuff, not pitching it all. All right? Now Sia says, you remind us that it's not going to get done all at once. No. That has actually helped me give myself some grace. Yes, give yourself some grace all over the place, right? We will rock you. Give yourself grace all over the place because you didn't get cluttered in a day. You didn't get cluttered in a week. You have probably gotten cluttered gradually and invisibly over your lifetime until now. If you're listening to me right now and you're curious about how to declutter, you're at a point where the clutter, even though it has technically been visible all along, really is becoming evident. You know, it's like this clutter is in my face. It's not just invisible anymore. You didn't gain the weight in a day. You're not going to lose it in a day. Does that mean don't try at all? No. It means start. But to me, start small. Start simple, start easy, because that's the way to do it organically and long term. There's so many things in nature that remind us about the natural, the organic way to grow something that relates to decluttering, which is pulling out the weeds. If you want something to grow, you pull out the things that don't belong around it, you know. Decluttering. Clutter is the weeds in your house. Think about that. Go weeding. Let me know how it goes. You know? And don't get frustrated when you're not there yet. You will get there. Okay? Morning LBD and Mama Pepper, I'm so glad you enjoyed the Zoom last Saturday. I'm going to be doing another one of those in November, but I got to look at my calendar, okay? You know? I love this. Erin says, I wanted to throw away a necklace 2 weeks ago, but then I found 24 more that I don't want, and I'm going to go consign them today. What a great idea. And again, in this kind of wavelength that we're all on, Hive Mind, I was realizing that I don't wear a lot of necklaces. I think it's because it draws attention to my bubs, and I have no interest in somebody looking at my boobs any more than that I don't want to encourage that. Okay, I'm being sincere. I know a lot of my motivations. I like bracelets because I also get to see them. If I'm wearing a necklace, I have to look way down here and then look at this. No, you know. So I have a lot of bracelets, but what I found is I bought a lot of, not a lot, but I have bought. Where are they? They're in. I worked out yesterday. Oh, one of those things. I think that orange thing right there has my bracelets in it. And while I can lift up the thing and dig around for a bracelet pretty easily, I found that there are a handful of them that I often go and use, and I push aside the ones that I don't. So just recently I realized this is silly. I just don't even wear these. I realized I like a bangle. I like an elastic bangle versus a cuff. Cuffs always get stuck on stuff and they're always backwards. So I'm going to look through and I'm going to cull out some of my things. And then I have a little vintage consignment type store down the street. I'm just going to drop them off and be like, here, you guys can have these, you know? So I love that you're doing that. Rock on. I'm going to go through, I'm doing another kind of mini declutter. It seems like the season, you know? German Maid says, I love the city trash bulk pickups. Yeah. I liked it actually when it was bulk pickup. I used to like drive around and see if anybody was giving away a Bertoya chair, you know? Yes. And Calm Carolyn, thank you. Calm Carolyn is saying, surface stored sentimental. That is a good order. Of course it is. I'm a decluttering life coach. I have learned this stuff by trial and error. And the stuff that works, I bring along with me. And the stuff that isn't, I leave behind. Every time I coach, I become a better coach. Because the more I do this and the more I prove the concept of what is working, the more confident I am in that what I'm offering you is nothing but the good stuff. Starting with the surface clutter gets you started. It's the easy stuff. It's like this morning, I threw some laundry in, I put some dishes away, I put something in the recycle bin, I threw something away, I wiped down a surface. Notice, surface clutter. I feel better. Stored clutter is what I was talking about earlier. It's like, oh, then when I went to put away the dishes, I realized I opened up the cupboard that has the Tupperware in it. And I'm like, you know what? I should just go through this and make sure that everything has like items together, that every rose has its thorn and every Tupperware has its lid. So I'm going to probably go through that at some point, but it's not bugging me right now. But I also realized that I actually did go through, kind of a shelf at a time. Just a shelf at a time. My husband and I recently realized, and I don't know if Cheryl, Abbott Elementary, you may not be on here, but she's one of my clients who I met through TikTok. I've met all my clients through TikTok. And Cheryl was talking about going through her drawer of spices and revisiting that and kind of decluttering that. I know myself I need to do that. And I want to do it because it's not functioning the way I want. It's kind of dirty. We're not sure what's there. We realize we have more spices than space at this point. So I too, I'm going through this with you guys, Yeah. I wasn't ruined in a day, exactly. All right. There we go. Techie Gadget Queen. That's what I'm doing now. Culling. Post-divorce, 30 years of miscellaneous and square 100-foot apartment from house. Yeah. You know what? That's cool. You know what you're going to get really good at? And you know this, is get eliminating. If you're a techie gadget queen, you're going to realize that some technology had its time and now it's obsolete. We are in a planned obsolescence loop like nobody's business. I just gave away a bunch of my old cameras. This is awful. Not awful, but it's just reminding me how the years pass. I gave a bunch of my cameras, including my original Canon AE1 SLR film camera, to my niece, because she's going to college. She's in college. And these are literally like vintage cameras to her. Was I using them? No. Did I want to throw them away? No, because they were pretty damn good. Did I want to sell them? Maybe, but I was kind of lazy. But I found somebody who was excited to get them. Yeah, Damn It Donna says, consider donating. Fled people have to start all over. Yeah. Okay, Cynthia C. Now, you're talking my language, okay? 1,000 plus CDs in a box, and I'm struggling with what to do. Now notice, planned obsolescence. Remember when CDs were the big thing? We had our records, and then we went to CDs, and then I can't remember where cassettes were. I was never a huge cassette person, except for when my car had a cassette player, which reminds me of, anyhow. Just notice. Noticing people. Noticing is a tool in your toolkit of decluttering. Notice how you used to listen to music, CDs. Notice how you listen to music now. You probably listen to music differently than you used to. That's okay. That's okay. Now, are you listening to your CDs? Probably not if they're just stuck in a box. You probably have thoughts about why you're struggling to get rid of them, and I want to offer a few that would probably come in there. I paid money for these. It feels wasteful to throw them away. Maybe I want to donate them, but there's no place that I can donate them. Maybe the donation place says, no, we don't take CDs, much like places don't take VHS tapes. Notice the obsolescence of technology and how it jams us up sometimes. What I want to offer, though, is you also may be saving some of them for sentimental reasons. Now, I know I have some that I've saved. What I did was I started to digitize the CDs that I wanted in my computer a while back to put it on my iTunes, because some CDs I only had one song that I liked. Other times I was like, I listened to the CD and I'm like, I don't even really like this song anymore. I don't care if I listen to it again. Other CDs, I remember specifically where I was when I got that. It was a big deal. Also, my husband and I, when we were courting, we used to make each other mixtapes and mail them back and forth because we had long distance relationship. And then we graduated to like making, he burned me like a mixtape on a CD. Fancy dancy, huh? So I keep those for sentimental reasons. But just start to have a conversation with yourself about your stuff. And do this. Don't interrupt yourself. When you ask yourself a question, be polite and pause and listen for the answer like you would any other person on the planet. Do not interrupt yourself. Maybe even write down what you're saying. This is what we do in coaching. A lot of it is literally writing down the thoughts in your head. Because when you do that, you can see it out of the corner of your eye. Like, wow, that's really what's telling me? That's really what's driving? This is interesting. Look at those words I've been telling myself. Okay? Pay attention to yourself. Okay? Yeah. Mixtapes were the ultimate flirty gift. They sure were, because you're like, I like this song. Do you like this song? Ooh. It was totally, getting to know you and seeing, because here's the funny thing. You can have a crush on somebody. I'm not going to get into details, but I saw the reminder of somebody you can have a crush on and have no musical interest at all. And man, it's just so much easier to hang out with people who truly have things in common with than try to pretend like you don't. Now this is fun. Strong Silver Soul Sister says, we gave all but a few of our vinyl records to our niece who received a turntable for Christmas. Awesome. If anything, we have started to slowly, and I'm totally very judicious now about what records I buy. And they are more kind of representational versus, oh, this is the only way I can listen to this record. So for example, I think I showed you guys, maybe not, but That Thing You Do, that movie, is paramount in my history. If that movie did not exist, thank you, Mr. Tom Hanks, for allowing me to create the life that I live because of that movie. So when that soundtrack came out on vinyl, like sparkly colored vinyl, of course I bought it because it had very little to do with the music. I can listen to the music on my phone. It had all to do with the story that movie tells me about my life. Yeah, everything is so ephemeral. We make playlists instead of mixtapes these days, but it's the same type of thing. It's connecting to somebody to say, I like this, do you like this? But you don't know what you like until you like decluttering. When this was another kind of bonding moment for my husband and me, and we still have it outside, like literally on the other side of this wall, is this little portable television. It's bright orange with a little kind of white outline on the thing. It's a black and white TV. It kind of works. But when we were thrifting once, when we were courting very early on, I was like, "Ooh, that's cool." And he says, "I think that's cool too." You like what I like? And I like what you like? This could be the start of something big. So we bought it. Do we watch that as a TV? No. We have it there as a reminder of when we were first courting and we discovered that we liked a lot of the same things. But how can you share with somebody what you like unless you know what you like or not? Have tapes that were made for me. I'm totally keeping it. Yeah, so decluttering is deciding what you like and what you don't like. Oh, I want to keep this song. I don't want to keep that song. Oh, I listened to that back in the day, but it hasn't aged well. I'm not that person anymore. I'm not listening to Sebadoh. I'm listening to Astrud Gilberto, but I listened to Astrud Gilberto back in the day, and I still love her. Some things have a certain shelf life in your life, and other things kind of you carry on with you. Okay, yes. So here, Erin, as much as I want the clutter gone, I still resent the ex-husband for tossing all my vinyl albums 25 years ago. Okay, Here's a really interesting thing. I hear you on that. I remember when my starter marriage was breaking up, I swear it was like there were a handful of CDs that I really wanted because back in the day, and we used to work for a record store, is that it was one of these kind of, what do I want to call it, contentious things. I did get it, and I got the band. I got to be the fan of the band, but I digress. What I want to say is notice the resentment. Notice the resentment you still feel. You are still feeling a feeling based on something that happened, let's just say, decades ago. Notice you are causing yourself to feel an unpleasant feeling because you are reminding yourself of that happening. And the interesting thing is, I bet you technically on the surface, on the very surface, in the shallow end of the pool, I could say, oh, well, why don't you just go buy those records again? It's not so much, I'm going to guess. It may have something to do with those records. And if you did buy it again, you're like, aha, see, now I have it back. Now I can kind of cancel out that negative feeling with a more positive feeling. But it's probably a lot more about what an asshole he was. How disrespectful it is to declutter somebody else's stuff without their permission. How violated and you can feel when somebody does something with you, with your things, without your permission. Now, I bring this up because many of us want to help from we could hear, many of us could probably sit here and trash talk exes, but what I'm saying is he could have done it maliciously. He could have done it unknowingly. Notice the energy behind what happened has everything to do with how you feel about it. But you are still in control of how you feel about it. And you can release that hot potato. I was talking to a friend about, you play hot potato. You're throwing it from one pan to the other. You're holding on to something that's hurting you. You can choose to let that go and be like, oh yeah, you know what? Reason number 732, how I'm so freaking glad I'm not with that person anymore. Yeah. I could resent things my ex-husband did, but I don't want to waste the effort. I don't even want to give. There's like a country song, you ain't worth the salt in my tears. It's like, you know what? I have a finite amount of energy and brain space. I want you to take up none of my brain space and none of my energy because I want to use that for good and not evil. All right? There we go. The only one you didn't mention was What If an Apocalypse? I can play it on my portable. I love it. Yeah. There we go. Beatles, Rolling Stones, Alice Cooper, Fleetwood Mac, Michael Jackson, Prince. Yeah, you know what? You can listen to that all right now. I could go boop, boop, boop. We could listen to it as we're tooling along. Notice it has very little to do with the actual music or the physical item. It has everything to do with the story. Yeah, it really does. And we waste so much time clinging on to things that hurt us or that make us feel gross. Now, here's the funny thing. I was talking about, I remember once during COVID, I started listening to this I was working on my coaching. I was coaching myself. I was getting coaching. And I was listening to this, a meditation app. And I'll never forget one of these guys that I listened to. He talked about, it was always a guy with a foreign accent. It's always so much, things sound so much cooler in a foreign accent. But I digress. And it was like talking about holding on to a hot coal that's burning your hands and to just throw it off of the side of the cliff and let it go. Also, you can be holding on to poop. It's making you feel gross. You've got poop on your hands. Let it go. Wipe it off. And the next time somebody throws a dog turd at you, don't pick it up. Yeah. Music is our life soundtrack. Yeah. Oh, 100%. And Techie Gadget Queen, I don't know how long you've been hanging around with me, but you'll see that I have a constant soundtrack running through my head. So much so, and actually think about this, even in technology ways. Decluttering music, decluttering CDs and records and 45s. We went last night. We have a friend who's a DJ. He spins vinyl records, but he also makes Spotify playlists. And my husband, who's a musician, also made a Spotify playlist of a lot of the songs that I refer to that just come out of my mouth when I'm coaching. It's on Spotify, and it's called, Destination Decluttered. His name is Cliff Hillis. So I don't know if you have Spotify. You want to look it up. But yeah, music helps us make sense of things. It helps us connect. Yeah, let it go. Don't force anyone to remove their stuff. Focus on yourself. Yeah, There we go. Uh-huh. Walking long distances helped me get rid of resentment. I love it, damn it, Donna. I love walking. I go out walking after midnight. See what I did there? I really like the pace of walking. Now, I say this because I want to tie it back into decluttering, is that when you declutter, you're going to move forward in your decluttering at a pace that works for you. Some people are runners. Some people are walkers. I like the pace of walking because I don't breathe hard. I don't get exhausted as easily. And I get to observe things. I am a professional observer and listener. And when I'm coaching, I'm a loving interrupter of the unhelpful loop. Okay? Yeah, I love it. Strong Silver Solstice. They're going to walk before they make me run. I am telling you, they have been trying to make me run since like the Presidential Physical Fitness Awards in the 1970s. Does anybody remember that? My body was not built for running. It doesn't feel pleasant, so I don't do it. Do I walk a hell of a lot? Hell yeah. There are weekends, there are times in my life where I don't even get in a car for days on end because I can walk every place I want to. You know? And see, I love this. Looney Poon just Jen says, and if it's getting difficult, slow the pace and break it down into steps. Yeah. Yeah. I know. Yeah. LG, loving the interrupter of the unhelpful. You know why? Because the unhelpful tends to be in a loop. And you're like, and this, and this, and this, and then this happens, and I'm just like, pss, 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 pss. All right. And it's not mean. It's just like, okay, notice, let's stop that, interrupt that loop, and let's do something different about it. Okay? Yeah, clutter in my home is so stressful. Yeah, notice how clutter brings you stress. Who the frick wants that? That's why I'm showing up to help you with that. So little space, so many things. I disassociate and ignore. Okay, you know, that is your way of dealing with it now. There's different ways. Now, Techie Gadget Queen, it's really interesting because my husband, I kid, but I'm serious when I say there's a corner of our basement that is the Museum of Obsolete Technology. Because my husband is a musician, but he records music and he produces music and he does all sorts of things. And he loves to experiment with obsolete technology. However, there's some obsolete technology that he has that doesn't work. I'm like, well, can you get it fixed? Like, I want to help him with this, but I also don't want things to pile up. So get curious if the stuff that you have is stuff you're using. You know? All right, Techie Gadget Queen, I'm here for you. I am. I love it. Strong Silver Soul Sister, always a pleasure. I'll see you later. Oh, I love this. Yeah, dreaded gym class right here. See, Laura Gibbons hummed the national anthem as I did the flexed arm hang. Flexed arm hang. Oh my God. Talk about a triggering moment. Yeah, some of us were built for certain things. Look at those long distance runners. My body and my life was built for something different, and that's okay. I never got it. I barely got it. I think red was the lowest, maybe. I had to, before I kind of graduated 6th grade, my gym teacher was like, no, you have to do what was the thing where you stood and you had to jump forward? She's like, oh no, you can't graduate 6th grade until you go out in your graduation dress and jump at least 4.5 feet. What a jerk. And you wonder why I have issues with working out? But I digress. All right. So LG says, decluttered the top of my piano yesterday and it's so much nicer in my living room again. Yeah, this is why we do it. This is why we do it, because it's so much nicer. Not only is it so much nicer, when it's nicer, you feel better. Am I right, LG? Right? Am I right? Yeah. Okay, the corner of dead computers. See, this is the thing. It's not our fault. It's not our fault. We live in a society that profits over creating new things and saying old things are bad and worse. Standing long jump, thank you. Standing Mars and Sia, thank you. Yeah. Have I ever had to stand and long jump in the past 55 years since then? No, actually it was less than that. How old would I have been? 12? Do the math. 40 plus years, let's say. Okay? Yeah. The rope climb, all of that. No, let's not even go back there, please. You know, what I want to say is I'm doing damn well. I'm doing good right now. You know? Yes, the clean view is a reward. It is. We are decluttering. We are all here so we feel better than we currently do now. And one of the ways in your life, if you're not feeling good, one of the ways you can feel better is to declutter. Because you know what decluttering is you have control over what you do. Okay, Techie Gadget Queen, any ideas for clothes and weight? Yo-yo, feel wasteful to give away things I like even if I don't fit. All right, 2 things. One is I got a wicked lot of videos on my TikTok page. Beth, Destination Decluttered. How is it already 8:40? Time flies. Time flies. My name is Beth, Destination Decluttered, decluttering life coach here, doing a TikTok live for like the next 20 minutes. And follow my page. So there's a bunch of things on my page about clothing. But I will say this really, really quickly because this applies to everybody. Declutter-wise. Listen up, spuds, as my friend would say, who made a cartoon once about Devo when we were in college radio back in the 80s. Okay, it feels wasteful to give things away. I give away things I like, even if it doesn't fit. Okay? Notice the feeling of wastefulness actually stems from a thought of being wasteful. Is it really wasteful to give away clothes you don't fit into? No. However, this is not just a one and done thing. This is a conversation with yourself. You need to go a few layers deeper. And I mean this very easily. It's not like you jump into the deep end of the pool. Notice what your weight is. If your weight is yo-yoing, between what weight and this weight? When's the last time you wore this stuff? And notice when I'm asking these questions and use this on yourself. Get the judgment out of your voice. Don't judge yourself. Judgment will shut you down. Curiosity opens you up to hear the answers that's in your head and in your heart. And then you can move your hands and decide whether to keep that clothing or whether to give it away to somebody who is going to fit into it. You know? This is what I want to offer, especially because you seem new here, and that's totally cool. I love meeting new people because it means there's still people out in the world that my words can hopefully connect to and help. Your head, your heart, and your hands are all connected. If you are stuck, this is where I want you to start. First of all, with yourself. Calm down your nervous system first. When you are activated, when your nervous system is dysregulated, if you want to get all fancy, you're not in the best mindset. You're on literally the part of your brain that's lit up when you're all in stress mode is not the best one for deep, helpful thought. It's the one that says, get me out of this dangerous situation. This is not a dangerous situation. So let's breathe and calm down and feel better. Once you feel better, that part of your brain, the light goes off, and then the other one can now light up. This is your loving, problem-solving, just wants you to have the best life ever part of your brain. It is not judgmental. It is full of love and curiosity, because curiosity helps you get to the part that really is going to help you. So just notice what your thoughts are that are causing you to keep your stuff. And don't just notice them. Noticing them is good, but take one step further. You know, I said the head, the heart, and the hand. Use your hand to write down those things. We do this in coaching. Folding the paper in half. Anybody who's worked with me, getting your thoughts out of your head and onto paper, down onto paper, so you can look at them. And you'll realize that you've got sentences going through your head that drive your car in a certain direction. And once you see those things, you can decide that if you want to keep thinking them, or you can choose to think another thought, a different thought, the opposite thought. And then when you think the opposite thought, ideally, opposite thought feels better, and when you feel better, you do better. Okay? It can be as simple as that. It is as simple as that. However, you know, if you think about it, okay, this just occurred to me. This is how my brain works. That's the tool in your toolkit. It's a very simple tool. It will work if you use it. Much like the same way a ballpoint pen is how you could write a book. It's a simple tool. It all depends on what you do with it. If you want to write a book, this is really all you need. This and this and this. Head, heart, and hand. It's your choice whether you use that for whatever reason. You can use this information. You can use your head and your heart to do all sorts of things. You can use this pen to write a mean letter to somebody. You can write this pen to write a shopping list. You can write, you can draw a picture. You can, deface somebody. You can stab somebody with a ballpoint pen, which I often tell my husband I'm going to do when he aggravates me. I am going to stab you with a ballpoint pen. The coaching tool that I just gave you, now you have it in your toolkit. You decide if you want to use it or not. And I will share with you the first time you do it. Do you remember? Probably not. The first time you picked up a crayon or something to write with, it felt weird and it felt awkward. But it also felt fun when you kind of got it a little bit and you got a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And now writing, like driving your car and like many other things, is something that you've practiced so much, you got the habit of, and now you do it without even thinking. Now is a time for us to realize that at a certain point in our lives, we have some good habits like that, and we have some not so good habits. And the not so good habits are the ones that make our lives feel like poop. We can do something to change those. You can teach an old dog new tricks. It's going to be slightly different than when you did it when you were a little kid, but it is worth it, right? Okay, I say right, period. Okay, Farm Girl says, I love all your analogies. It helps us so much. Yeah, you know what? I don't speak Spanish well at all. My brain really has a hard time. It has to think about speaking in in legit foreign languages. Other people in my family, it's a lot more organic. My two, I want to say other languages besides English are metaphor and pop culture from the Gen X generation. Those are the ways I communicate. That's how I process thoughts for myself. And it helps me to be like, oh yeah, you know what? You're right. You're totally right. So I share it with you. Check out what I just discovered. I want you to think of this too. Okay? Yeah. Mary says, I want to declutter. I want to just declutter. Right now, I should not focus on decluttering. It's so frustrating. Okay, notice. Notice what you want. This is what you want. This is what you get. Yeah, it might be a little rough, but it gets easier. Yeah. Now I'm backing up here a little bit. Yes. Yeah. Good stuff here. I just realized I can't find what I like because I'm surrounded by other people's stuff. Okay, Tamara Avis. That's when you go on a treasure hunt and you push other people's stuff aside. You have them. You encourage them to deal with their own stuff, but you get their stuff out of the way so you can go on a treasure hunt and find your stuff. Do not declutter at somebody else, but I say decluttering is a life skill because decluttering is decision making. Decluttering, decision making. Deciding what you want and deciding what you don't want. If you don't know how to do it, you shouldn't be surprised that other people that you live with don't know how to do it either. Now, I say this from a much more advanced perspective because I used to approach this differently. I was right, you were wrong, I'm good, you're bad, all of that kind of very unhelpful thing. This is why I went and got my certification as a life coach because I realized my approach wasn't working. I'm right, you're wrong. How does that feel? So I coach myself, I coach other people. When you feel better, you do better. Okay? And we're all on this journey together. Alrighty? Just Jen says, download Beth's monthly declutter sheet. It's great to see the progress. Yeah, it is. And actually, speaking of that, I got to look at my little thing. I've been kind of falling off the wagon as far as keeping track of my health, but I'll do better. I love it. Mantle is clear and items dusted. Considering an item or two to say goodbye to. Yes, releasing it. Kind of like releasing it out into the wild so it can go have another life outside of your mantle. I have a few things I have many things in this house, I will say. The more I declutter, the more I realize I need or want so little of what I have in my house, but I like how it looks. It reminds me of how I used to be and how I am now, and I'm cool with it. I don't want to live in an empty house, but if I moved houses for whatever reason, much of this stuff probably would not come with me, and that's okay. I love it. All right. What else do we have? Yeah, write what you like about yourself. Exactly. Yeah, Sherry says, life happens. I was sick yesterday and wanted to declutter, but knew I had to rest. Okay? Yeah. Okay, going to the resale shop and seeing what they priced my donation at. Inflation is insane. You know what? People price things. I mean, we live in a capitalist society. There are people who are benefiting out of increasing prices. The people who own the businesses usually do that. Other people have very little things to do with it. Now, Sherry says, Beth came onto my live yesterday and reminded me to start the laundry, and then I took a 2-hour nap. I bet you feel better after taking a nap, right? You know, and when you feel better, time to declutter. That's self-care too. Exactly. All right, good stuff, folks. My goodness, it's already 8:50. I get 10 minutes left. Let's make the most of the time we have here. Now, I often say that when I'm in my coaching with my one-on-one paid clients, but I say that to you too as just a human on the planet. How much time do we have left? You know, we don't know. So let's make the most of the time we have on this planet. I know I have fewer years ahead of me through the windshield than I do in the rearview mirror. So you know what I'm going to make damn sure of? Is that I spend my time and my energy on things that really matter to me. And I'm not even going to waste my time or my energy on things that do not matter to me. This is why when I'm scrolling through TikTok, I will scroll over those like, let me tell you the dramatic story of how somebody effed me over. I scroll right past that stuff. You know what I pay attention to? Things I want more of in my life. Vacation destinations. Tasty things to eat. Clever hacks that make my life easier. That's what I focus my time and energy on, and I get them. Because now I know, ooh, you know where I want to go is that place that guy just showed me on that Greek Isle. You know, and then the other drama, save your drama for your mama. I have no interest in it. That's why I'm not a mama. Aunties don't do drama. We do fun and we do inspiration. That's why I'm going out to Denver in a couple of weekends to see my nephew and take him out on an awesome dinner. So, all right. Yeah, Danielle, totally. Even though I want to declutter, I love stuff. Do you know what I mean? Oh, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. And do you realize each one of these containers is filled with stuff? But here's the difference. Decluttering, people, decluttering is the decision making. After you have decided what you want and what you don't want, and you remove what you don't want, you don't have clutter anymore. What you have is stuff you love that you may be merchandising in a cluttered fashion. There is a difference between decluttering and organizing. And in my world, the decluttering always should happen prior to the organizing. Because why organize things that you haven't made a decision of if you want or not? Okay? You know? Techie Gadget Queen is asking, is there a place to donate partially used lotions or hair products, or is it trash only option? Now, this is the beauty of the internet, okay? Because I am here in Pennsylvania and I am here in my little town. I don't know what it's like where you are. This is what the Google will offer you. There may be like a place to do that, and there may not be. Give it a shot. You might have a shelter that somebody would be glad to use any of it. They may also be like, no, it might have germs on it. Google that in your area and see what comes up. Okay? Google that, all right? All right, where do we go? It makes me want to donate to a place that's doing more for people. Okay, Ponytail Girl, I know I'm kind of bopping around as far as the question goes. Notice how important it is for you to feel good about where you donate. There you go. Find a place that makes it easy for you to donate, that you feel good at. And that feel good can come from a number of things. I will be honest with you. I know a lot of people have issues with the way that Goodwill is set up, and I'm not saying I don't. However, I have benefited from shopping at Goodwill in the past. Also, sometimes it is easier for me to drive there, dump the stuff in their totes, and then drive away than it is for me to coordinate whenever the little thrift shop near me is open. Sometimes I also have crap that I wouldn't even want to give to one of my good thrift stores that I just give to Goodwill, and I figure they'll deal with it. Feeling good about what you're doing makes it easier. So notice when you're not feeling good about what you're doing, ask yourself why you're not feeling good about it. You know? There you go. Sherry Hooper. Everybody, every day we're moving at a different pace. Every day I'm shuffling. You know? I'm taking it slow. Yeah, I was puttering around this morning. Am I racing around kicking ass? No. Sometimes I love that feeling of methodically and just, I'm in a groove. and I'm really being mindful about what I'm doing. And I'm getting little tiny things done, but it's resolving tiny little pebbles in my shoe. You know? Do I decorate for each holiday? A little bit. I decorate much less than I used to, but I do it very mindfully. And actually, thank you for reminding me of that, because you know what? We did some of our decorations. My decoration journey, I used to kind of maximize it because I love seeing that in other people. I found for me to be the person who put all those blow molds out on my lawn, that became overwhelming and unfun. So I stopped doing it. When my blow mold jack-o'-lanterns, my plastic ones that you would like hold the candy in when you were a little kid, when those got all faded and yucky, what my husband and I decided, and he's fine with it, was that we would just put, I almost said live pumpkins, fresh pumpkins on we have a chimney we can put it on in the front yard. So I do that. But you know what you just reminded me of, so thank you, is I do have literally one little clear tote in the basement that's got 2 indoor blow molds, a little skeleton guy, and I think a little piano that I got back at Windsor Button Shop. God, what a blast from the past. I got it like literally in the 80s. It's this little, I'll do a TikTok video about it. But anyhow, you reminded me that, yeah, I do actually have some extra things to decorate with, but very few. They're easy to put up, easy to enjoy, easy to put away. Thanksgiving, not so much. Christmas, I have Christmas stuff. I used to have a ton of it because I used to love to accumulate it and find it, that thrill of the hunt, that dopamine hit when you get it, and then showing it off to people. But we don't have the parties like we used to anymore. I don't want to sound like an old person, but post-COVID, we live differently. And also, it used to be fun to decorate the way I used to do it. I used to enjoy it. And then for a very long time, I didn't like it. It really got me in a bad mood at the holidays. And I felt like Charlie Brown. My husband is like, oh, I want to put up the tree. I'm like, I don't care. This is, So I decided to go through my stuff. And I realized, because it was a chore to find a home for everything when I was putting on my decorations. Now I have fewer decorations, but I enjoy putting them out more because that's the amount of time I spend. And I those few decorations bring me joy. Hope that helped. All right, well, here we go. Boopity boop. There we go. Yes, the squirrels love the pumpkins and benefit from you giving when Halloween is over. Yeah, we also have a farm near us that we can bring them back and they'll feed them to the animals. So we'll probably do that too. Yeah. Yeah, user 16228. I haven't heard that name in ages. Windsor Button Shop. Yeah. I am OG Gen X like nobody's business. Talk about clutter in a head. But it's fun. I found that thought. I shared it with you. That's why I don't necessarily delete those files in my head, even if we could. Now, Crystal is saying each year I've been getting rid of holiday stuff that I don't put out. Yeah, even some sentimental stuff. Yeah, me too. Me too. It's a process. It gets easier, though. Yeah. Okay, Lulu says, I decorated big last year for one Halloween, but not one trick-or-treater, so not really that interested. Okay, notice why you did it. You were hoping to attract the trick-or-treaters. It didn't work. Okay, if you're not really interested, don't really do it. Okay, teacher says I need to go through Christmas decorations. I am way too sentimental. Well, here, let me offer you this, okay? Because we got to wrap up soon. Let me make sure I don't have anything here. Yes, there we go. Michelle says, when it became a chore and not a joy, I stopped the over-the-top holiday decor. Yes. I love it. Laura's taking down Christmas lights in the room. Cobweb attack next. You stay. So I have a free mailing list and I do paid coaching. The reason I'm saying this is because tomorrow I'm doing a thing called the Declutter Party. Last weekend I did one for just the people on my free mailing list. It was a wicked lot of fun. Tomorrow I'm doing one, but just for my paid clients. They get a bonus because they got to go to that one and they get to go to this one, and it's free. What it is we show up together on Zoom. We all pick something to declutter, and we use an hour and a half maybe. And then we hang out and we chat and we, exchange tips and tricks or whatever, and we have a good time. And then we shut off the Zoom and then we go do something else with our Saturday. It helps you kind of compartmentalize some decluttering, and it helps you. A lot of people were telling me how great it felt with the camaraderie and the focus. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this now is my clients right now are doing the one tomorrow. I am doing one of those in November. I do one of those once a month. I will be doing one in November. November is a wonderful time to start to go through your holiday decor. I want to be mindful and say kind of December holidays or any of your holiday decor. So if you want to say to yourself, I'm going to spend 2 hours going through my Christmas stuff in in November before Thanksgiving, and you want that kind of weekend day, that 2 hour segment, then get on my mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com. If you want to be invited to that and be able to go to the other cool stuff that I do for my paying clients, I still have a handful of spaces for new clients on my on my weekly schedule. I coach Monday through half Friday. Today I don't have any clients. That's why I'm in my robe. And Monday through Friday Eastern time. If you're interested in that, the information on my paid coaching is also on my website, destinationdecluttered.com. So whether it's coaching or even just hopping on the mailing list, you can go to my website, destinationdecluttered.com, and do both of those. I hope you enjoyed what we did today. This was wicked fun for me. I will not be doing any TikTok lives until, well, you know what? I'm going to be very coy. The people on my mailing list know when I'm going to be doing another TikTok live, because when you are on my mailing list, you get access to the schedule. If you want to know when the next time I'm showing up because you liked this, hop on my mailing list. Go to destinationdecluttered.com. It is free. Sign up. I send you an email, and there's a link to say, hey, here's the schedule. Now, I'm going to go double check it right now because, I want to make sure that the other ones from earlier this week are off and the new ones are there. So if this is of interest to you, do that. If not, you can just even follow my TikTok page. That's kind of cool. Okay. Remember, this is for you. This is for you. Okay. Destination Decluttered. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and I'm here to help you with your clutter. And I like to have fun and get it done. Okay? So I will see you the next time I see you. Okay? Bye.